What's going on, everybody? I'm Jerry, and today it is weekly pick time. As we do every week, picking every game. I do the score prediction, I do the pick winner, like money line, as well as against the spread. All in one video. A lot of people do separate videos for them. I just do it all in one. So let's get right into it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get through these picks. We got a couple good games this week. This one not being one of them. Most of the primetime games have not been good. We need to fix that. But we got the Bears, Panthers going into Chicago to play against the Bears. I think this could be a close game, and I think the Panthers could win. Initially, when it was 3.5 on the spread, I actually was thinking about having the Panthers cover that 3 and doing like 21-24 or something, because I think they have a chance. I think the Panthers are going to want to win this game. Bears have their pick, so they have a lot of reason for it. But I don't know. It seems odd that the Bears are favored with how easily it's been for them to lose games. I guess they're both. The NFL's just saying that, or the betting, in this case FanDuel, is saying that they're pretty even, and because the Bears are at home, they're getting the 3 points, which is fairly normal. So Bears get the 3 point. I just think they're going to win. I decided that I did say in past videos, if you watch all of them, that I think I'm going to pick wrong with the Bears every week. And I told myself I'm never going to pick them to win because then I'll at least be right on here. And I think this week and their Bears Cardinals week could be the week that I get it correct. So I decided to pick the Bears against the spread and just to win straight up. And they take down the Panthers 17-24 at home. Next we have the Colts Patriots. This one was kind of tough for me because I feel like the Patriots, sooner or later, they're just going to squeak out a win. Some way, somehow. Feel like they have to get a win. I don't think this is the week, though. The Colts have been playing better. Jonathan Taylor has helped out immensely, although Zach Moss did very well while he was there. Gardner Minshew's been filling in well and always puts up a lot of points. And the Patriots have been struggling. So I think this could be even higher scoring than this. I don't know what the over-under is on this game, but Patriots under 1.5 point underdogs did seem odd. I definitely thought it might be a good game to pick them to cover just because I feel like they need to put together a win, but they've just been such a mess that I couldn't pick them to win. So I have the Colts winning, the win colting by the 4 points there. Next we have Texans Bengals. I don't know. I just completely drew a blank there. Texans Bengals. I wasn't sure what to do with this one too because the Texans had strung together a few weeks where they just were not playing well and they were losing, but then they have the miraculous win against who'd they play last week? It didn't matter who they played because it was the Buccaneers. Great win by them, so I feel like they have to be riding that train. Everybody's talking about how great C.J. Stroud's been. You see Stroud spreading the ball around, getting it to Schultz, getting it to Noah Brown, getting it to Nico Collins, getting it to Tank Dell. Everybody was getting the ball. Everybody was having a good time, except for the Buccaneers when they lost. The Bengals, I definitely think are going to win, and I thought about having them cover the spread just because of the hot streak they've been on. But I feel like DeMeco Ryans might be able to scheme up something for the Bengals here. And I think Joe Burrow's probably still going to have a good day. But I think Stroud's going to have a good day too. And I think it's going to be a bit of a shootout. So I picked him to cover. I think this could be an upset. Like if you were looking to pick an upset, getting 6.5 points for the Texans, I feel like if I was to pick a lock bet, this would probably be my lock. Just because kind of questionable, I guess, because there are some other good picks, but I don't know. I just feel like the Texans can do it. I could be very wrong. The Bengals have started getting a lot better pressure recently, so there's that too you have to consider. Is Stroud going to be able to play under pressure? Are those tackles going to hold up? But I'm taking the Bengals either way, 31-28. Texans covering that spread. Packers-Steelers, I don't see how the Packers go into Pittsburgh and do this. I think it's going to be fairly lower scoring game. Packers tend to end up around that like 14-21 mark as far as how much they score aside from like week 1 when they beat the Bears 38-20, but they tend to hang right around that region, so that makes sense to me. I don't believe in the Steelers offense. Their run game was better last week, but not good enough for me to have them scoring more than 21 points. So I definitely wanted them to cover the spread in this situation because I think it was kind of a fraudulent win last week over the Rams with their backups in, and Brett Ripien and Royce Freeman. I mean, obviously they were going to win. So I think this is definitely going to be a Steelers win. That's almost for sure. And then being a 3-point spread, I feel like the Steelers have to cover that. Steelers take down the Packers 21-17. Next we have Titans Buccaneers, and I went back and whoops. Whoa, hello. Don't know what just happened there. Titans Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers win this one here. I don't know. After seeing how the Titans kind of folded last week, I feel like I don't know if Vita Vea is playing it. I think he's supposed to play, and that's really going to help them there. But it just seemed like at home in Tampa, I think they're supposed to win this one. I was very tempted to pick the Titans, especially getting 1.5. Seems wrong. Even now that I'm just reading it, it seems wrong to have them cover. I just feel like Baker's kind of been putting it together. They scored almost 40 last week, 37, I think. Rachaad White's been really good out of the backfield. He only has one. There's one target that he didn't actually catch the ball. I just learned that today in Fantasy Focus, I think it was. He's had like 24 targets and 23 receptions, which is like the best rate of anybody over 20 targets this year, which is pretty good. I mean, he's just a running back, so he's just catching dump-offs. But good for Rachaad White there. Minor little positive about Rachaad White because I've kind of been knocking him for not being good at running the ball, which he hasn't been. He's kind of stepping it up a little bit, getting a little better, at least getting involvement. You still have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, K. Dotton had a decent week last week, so got to keep all that in mind. I don't know. I just feel like the Titans won't put it together. I think they'll make mistakes. Vita Vea is in there. I think he's shutting down Derrick Henry. Their defense needs to show up, though, because Will Levis was bombing it last week. But I think their teams are going to start figuring that out. Maybe Will Levis will be making some mistakes. This is my upset, even though they're a favorite in this game. By the 1.5 here, I think the Titans could beat or the Buccaneers could beat the Titans, but we'll see what happens. I'm taking the Buccaneers. I don't feel good about it. I feel like this is definitely going to be wrong. Browns Ravens. Browns have just found ways to be close in the game. That's why I have them scoring 20. Deshaun Watson's back. Looked good throwing the ball to Amari Cooper. 5 receptions on 5 targets, like 130-something yards and a touchdown. Looked great for Amari Cooper. Finally, after having a few bad weeks with P.J. Walker in. But Ravens have struggled against some good defenses, and the Browns have one of the best defenses in the league. So I think if Lamar Jackson gets shut down or he's running for his life from Myles Garrett, I think they could keep it close, and that's why I just have them covering the spread there. I think they're both going to have to get some field goals. I think might see some good red zone defense for some reason. So I'm taking the Ravens 27-20, closer than most might think. But the Browns have just found ways to stay in games and even win games. So I don't have them cover, or I have the Ravens covering, not the Browns. What's going on with the back and forth stuff? I don't know what the deal is with that. 49ers Jaguars. This one was tough for me too because it doesn't look like Trent Williams is going to play. Deebo Samuel's going to be back. We're going to see who has more of an effect on the game. I personally think it's Trent Williams, and that's why Brock Purdy's been struggling. He's been under a lot more pressure. You basically just have Brandon Ayuk to throw the ball to. George Kittle, of course, too. But so that's wrong of me to say. George Kittle and Ayuk is still just fine. Like, that's plenty good. And then McCaffrey was still on the field, but I think. Why are we back? Whoa, what's the deal? Why do we keep doing this? I didn't do it, I promise. McCaffrey, I'm just not going to touch anything. Hands are up. We'll see what happens. 49ers, 28. Jaguars, 27. I really think the 49ers are going to be looking for a win here. And it just seems like 49ers need to. I think if they're... I was talking about how they're on the losing streak right now. Need to go on a hot streak. And I think this could be the beginning, although it's against a good team in the Jaguars. I think Deebo Samuel coming back is going to help. But that's why I have the Jaguars covering with how they've just been able to win games, and more than the 49ers at this point. I think it makes sense to have them covering the spread because I truly do think they could win. But nonetheless, I have them covering. 49ers still win 28-27 in a close game. I did just click the button to switch. Here we go. Okay, hands are off. You can see. We'll see what happens. Saints 21, Vikings 24. I thought it was bad that the Vikings somehow are not favored at home. Minnesota's a very tough place to play, US Bank Stadium. So I think that's going to be a tough one for the Saints. They get a win over the Bears last week, but it's the Bears. They haven't really been that great. So I think 21 points is just about right for the Saints, and I do think the Vikings can win. Josh Dobbs looked comfortable back there, and he was just figuring out the cadence with his offensive line. Everybody saw the video of him practicing the cadence on the sideline. So I think the Pasternaut is going to be able to come in and do some beautiful things. I think they might have his number, like the Saints probably going to be better against a running quarterback, although you look at last week, they did not contain Bajent very well in the first half, and then Luke Getsy told Bajent, no, don't go outside the pocket anymore, don't scramble around or do any of that stuff we did good in the first half, and then of course the Bears couldn't drive down the field. So I think if Josh Dobbs can get loose a little bit and make some plays on offense, get the ball to Addison, Hockenson, and those other weapons, I think it could be a good game. Brian Flores can scheme up a good defense. I think he's going to get a lot of pressure on Carr and make it tough for him and ultimately help him win the game. I think you're going to see a lot of dump-offs to Kamara. Might see a lot of Taysom Hill, too, because he's kind of shot up these past 2 weeks. He always has a few games a year where he just goes off, but those 2 last week in a row were big time. Might even be 3 in a row that he played well, but love to see it. I love Taysom Hill. He's great. Great football player in every regard, just playing every position on offense. He can probably tackle, too. I don't know why I don't put him in a linebacker. But that's not important. What is important is the Vikings are going to win 24-21 against the Saints, covering that spread. So even if they lose, I can get right. I just 2.5 points seems wrong. This is going to be a shit show, I think. Taylor Heineke, I had a lot of faith in him. I think the Cardinals, I don't think they're going to win, and the fact that it's only 1.5 points just goes to show how much of a mess the Falcons have been. But I think, honestly, you could probably just hand the ball to Algier all game and just have him run over that Cardinals defense, and you would be just fine. As long as the Falcons have had a good defense early on, they're not going up against much. Doesn't look like Kyler Murray's playing. Even if he does play, he hasn't played in a while. So I've got the Falcons winning this one, no doubt. I don't think there's any chance that this goes any other way. The fact that they're only favored by 1.5 points is just ridiculous to me. Maybe the books know something that I don't, but I am not going to fall for that trap. I'm taking the Falcons. 17-6, low-scoring game, very boring. And, I just clicked it once. Now we're back. All right, here we go. I apologize for that. There we go. We're back. Don't know what happened there, but what I do know is the Lions are going to beat the Chargers 31-24. Chargers, I think, have just looked good playing against some bad teams. You know, they beat the Jets. They beat the Bears. 3 points seems about right. I think that's pretty fair. Lions coming off a bye, though. I just think the Lions are going to just outperform them in every aspect. I think the Lions' defense is going to be hungry. A couple struggles in the past weeks, especially against the Ravens. So I think the Lions are going to be hungry. They're going to go into SoFi, where the home team is never really favored. I think the Lions definitely win this one. Only having to cover 3, I feel like 31-24 has been right. That's kind of what the Chargers have been scoring, is like that mid-20s range as far as points go. So I like 24 for the Chargers. Wanted the Lions to cover. That puts them at 31. They can score like that. So that seems realistic to me. Let's move on to the next one. Giants Cowboys. Oh, see, I'm not doing that. Oh, see what's okay. That's really weird. Okay, figured it out. Figured out the problem. We know moving forward, you didn't need to see this. I should edit this out. Not going to. Giants Cowboys. Giants 10, Cowboys 28. I wasn't really sure what to do here. I don't think Tommy DeVito is going to be capable of putting up many points. I honestly think the 10 points is probably going to be from maybe 2 drives where somebody fumbles from the Cowboys, or maybe an interception, get a short field and get a field goal, and then maybe there's a fluke drive at the end where like Tommy DeVito just hands the ball off to Saquon Barkley and then they get a touchdown somehow. But 16.5 points, biggest spread of the year. I just don't see how. I guess it would make so much sense to have the Giants cover it, especially if you did like alternate spread like 21.5. The odds have got to be so good, and I don't think you can ever get odds like that. So it might be worth doing if you're doing like a parlay or something. Giants 21.5, I think, is probably a pretty good odds. So regardless of that, I think the Cowboys are going to win. There's not much to say here. Cowboys are still one of the best teams in the league. I'd say top 10. If you saw my power rankings video, you know exactly where I have them. So check that out. But I think Cowboys definitely going to win. Giants are a mess. Right as Danny Dimes comes back, then he has to come out. So not too surprised there. We got Commanders Seahawks. This one was tough. This one was really tough. yes, I know I'm crazy, but I'm putting the Commanders. I think the Seahawks have had too many problems. With Geno Smith just makes a couple problems every game. And, DK Metcalf has been injured, but hasn't really gotten the ball that much. Hasn't had a great season. You still have JSN, you still have Tyler Lockett, but the Commanders have been putting up a lot of points, and I don't think the Seahawks defense is all that amazing. This is definitely the upset of the week for me. I didn't think I was going to be picking the Commanders to win this game, but it's just I feel like you have to have an upset in there. You have to have an upset, and this is my upset of the week. This is crazy. Like, this is why my picks record is not great, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but I'm fine with it. Like I said, Sam Howell's been putting up a bunch of yards, finding ways to get the ball down the field. I think he's probably going to throw a couple picks. I think Geno's going to have a couple mistakes too. If the Commanders can shut down Kenneth Walker, though, I think they can keep this game close and even win. Me having them win is just crazy, though, with the Seahawks being favored by 6. But don't at me. You got to pick some crazy ones sometimes, and that's what I'm picking this week, the Commanders Seahawks. So I'm fine with it. Whatever. I got the Jets winning this one. Jets Raiders. This is going to be another shit bowl. I don't believe all the hype with the Raiders and coming together for Antonio Pierce. The Jets offense looks like a mess, and Max Crosby is going to be wreaking havoc. It's in Vegas, so there's that, but I don't know. I just think the Jets are a little bit better team than the Raiders, even though the Jets look absolutely atrocious, and the Raiders actually looked good, but they were playing the Giants, who also aren't very good. So I think Aiden O'Connell is not really going to be able to do much against this strong Jets defense, and it's just going to end up being a shitty punt fest where the Jets end up taking down the Raiders, 13-10. Broncos Bills, a little twitch in the screen. I'll have to figure that out maybe in the next video, but I have the Bills. This is kind of a crazy take of the week here, but I think people are forgetting that the Broncos offense has been scoring pretty well. Like, they've been putting up points and beat the Chiefs. Russ is having a good year despite not having the win column where he'd like to have it. They've been having a good year. The Bills also haven't been looking great recently, especially their defense not being able to put up points. And I'm talking about the Broncos as if they're going to win. It's more or less just the fact that they're a 7.5 point underdog in this game. Sure, they're going into Buffalo, and I definitely think the Bills are going to win. There's no doubt about that. But I definitely think the Broncos can cover 7.5. So we'll see. I could be completely wrong about it. The Broncos defense has been horrible, and the Bills offense is still good with the emergence of Kincaid. So I got the Bills winning 24-17 with the Broncos covering, though. I think this game could be closer than you think, especially with having that spread. Just seems right. Could be wrong. This one and the Commanders don't seem like my best picks, but that's what I've decided. I'm sticking to it. Here's the all-season record. This is what I was talking about. Only 77-58. Not very proud of that. 61-74 on the other end down there. That I am not happy about either. Last week we were 7-7, which is not great. Better rushing team record is still killing it at 92-43. Went 8-6 last week. It was actually one of the worst weeks. Again, the rushing record is whoever has more yards, or if the yards per carry, like which one is the best, or if both are better, that team, if they get the win, they get the win column there. So 92-43 is the record for the most efficient running game. Been keeping track of that because I thought it was very interesting early on at how accurate it was. So 92-43, but that's going to do it. That's all the games. Let me know what I got right and what I got wrong. Mainly what I got wrong is the Commanders Seahawks. You can tell me down below because that's a crazy take, but like I said, I'm sticking to it. I think there could be an upset this week, and I'm picking that one. Call me crazy, but I'm going to look like a genius if I call it. I'm going to look like a fool if I don't. And not that many people are going to see this anyway, so what's the problem? But thank you for watching, and have a great day. And we're back. Apologize. Whoa, hey, what's the deal? Okay, you can't see the problem that I'm having right now according to the picture on my laptop. But I got a new setup, so I apologize for what's going on right now. I can't even... Whoa!